Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap 2. This is that temp channel that I have while I'm getting the other channel up. Please subscribe because we have hardly any subscribers, so I appreciate all of you who already are. That's Stan in the background. For those that heard him, he's still alive and kicking, the kicking chicken. So what I wanted to talk to you about right now in this moment is 4 additional benefits that you can unlock. Unlocking these 4 benefits are life-changing. And we'll see if I can remember them. I woke up in the middle of the night and thought about this and thought I would share it. So, this all hinges off of your collective ratings. And once you get to that magical world of permanent and total, then these other benefits open up, okay? Unlock, if you will. So, what I want to do here is, look, please subscribe if you haven't and watch this video. It helps YouTube know to, hey, look, I'm here, and push it out to more because there's not that many because it's a small channel. Anyway, so jumping into it. The first thing that I'm going to say is if you're not 100% permanent in total or you've never filed a claim, 100% permanent in total is not impossible to get to. You just need to have the right mindset and understand what is service connectable, what is not, what can be rated as a secondary condition and what is not, what does an appropriate claim look like, all of that type of stuff. And don't shortchange yourself by thinking that 100% is the highest that you can get, therefore it's reserved for the most horrific of situations. Okay, that's not the case. There's special monthly compensation for that. There's a whole host of reasons why people don't file for VA disability and or stop pursuing it. If you're educated, and Stan's in the background chiming in, if you're educated and you understand what you can file for, you understand if your condition is static or not, are all things that are very important. This video is not really about that, but I just want the right mindset as you think about this. So again, if you're not 100% permanent in total, there might be a path there. The path there is going to unlock actually multiple different things for you, but I'm going to focus on 4. The first one, number 1, I'm not going to call it the most important thing, but a very, very important aspect that gets unlocked at 100% permanent in total is the money, right? Now that's not, I kind of threw that in as an extra one, but it is a gigantic step. It's a huge benefit for you to move from 90% to 100 versus moving from 70 to 80. Okay, it's, I don't even know the numbers off the top of my head, $1,600 a month or so, depending on various factors, a difference for a 10% jump. So the financial gain is tremendous for folks. So that's the number 1 thing. Number 2, what happens is you are now able to obtain Chapter 35 benefits for your spouse and dependents. Okay, for your spouse and dependents, they can now receive Chapter 35 benefits. What is Chapter 35 benefit? Chapter 35 benefit is an educational benefit that will pay your spouse or your dependents a stipend every month while they're going to some sort of a higher level of learning institution. And it will pay them currently $1,401 per month while they're going to school full time. It does not pay for the tuition. You'll have to figure that out yourself. So if you go to a community college or an online school that might be on the lower end tuition-wise, you could potentially pocket, $1,000, $1,100 per month if you're going to school full time in a very low-cost school. Right? So the other is also true. You could go to, Stanford or Harvard or something, and, well, you're going to wipe that out probably every month. So it just depends. But the bottom line is that benefit opens up and puts an additional $1,401 into your spouse or your dependent's pocket every single month while they're going to school full time. That's the number 2 one. Number 3 benefit that I want to talk about anyway is Number 3 is Champva. Champva is the civilian, so it's your spouse and dependents healthcare coverage from the VA. Now, the way that this works is It acts as a secondary insurance if you already have a primary insurance in place. However, if you ever end your primary insurance for your family, let's say you're working, right? You're working, you have insurance, you said, cover my family. Then Champva can come in as kind of a supplemental type of an insurance. In the event that you quit your job or you retire or whatever, and you need healthcare coverage, you can bump Champva from a secondary position into a primary position for coverage for your spouse and dependent children. Now, this covers, everything that you could think of. I would rattle it off, but that's not what this video is about. So just know that it's pharmacy, it's medical coverage, inpatient, all that type of stuff. So very good benefit that opens up for your family and should act as an additional, prod to get you to go to try to receive that 100% permanent and total because of these additional benefits. So far we've covered 3. I'm going to jump into the 4th, but the 3 that we covered were the massive increase in compensation that you receive as the veteran. 2 is Chapter 35, which is the $1,401 per month in your spouse or your dependent's pocket while they're going to school full time. Number 3 is Champva, that health coverage, health insurance that can act as a secondary or a primary with pharmacy care, pharmacy payment coverage, whatever you want to call that, as well, which is great. Now let's jump into number 4. Now this one is really important, especially as we age, right? As we get older, our mortality starts to really come into effect, right? And we start thinking more about, life insurance, what happens if, right? Well, life insurance is expensive, but did you know that the VA has something that is, I like to look at it like a life insurance for your survivors for free for you if you meet certain qualifications. Now, it's not really life insurance. They don't call it that, but I want to frame it that way for you to look at. It's dependency indemnity compensation. Now, this can be for dependent spouse, right? Your spouse, surviving spouse, if you pass away, surviving spouse, dependent children can also receive it under certain circumstances, or even dependent parents who are relying on you could also receive it under certain qualifying circumstances as well. Now, this video isn't going to be a deep dive into DIC. It's a high-level overview. Now, here's the thing about DIC. I'm going to talk about a couple things here because there's a couple different doorways into qualifying for dependency indemnity compensation. Now, how much does it pay is the first thing I'm going to throw out. It ranges anywhere between about $1,600 per month as kind of the base, tax-free money for the rest of life, unless you get remarried before a certain time, blah, blah, blah. So there are some qualifiers to continue to carry that on. But $1,600 all the way up into the 3,000s, depending on various factors, such as how long have you been married, how long was the veteran's service connected at a certain condition, at a certain level for a percentage. Children, do you have aid and attendance issues? Do you have housebound issues as the survivor spouse receiving DIC? So there's all kinds of different factors that can boost up the amount that you receive. The bottom line is the dependency indemnity compensation is money in the survivor's pocket, ranging anywhere from $1,600 all the way into the 3,000s, depending on those various factors. Now, why is this a benefit at the 100% permanent and total mark? Well, it really kind of opens up at the 100% mark, I guess. So once you are rated 100%, and you're rated 100% for, or just to throw this in there, your TDIU at 100%. So if you are paid at the 100% rating, so in the VA's monetary eye, you're 100%. For 10 years, once you're rated for 10 years, you can pass away from anything, any possible circumstance, right? Walk in front of a bus, you tripped in the road, got ran over, you got in a car accident, whatever it is. And your surviving spouse should be able to qualify for dependency indemnity compensation. Now, if you're short of that 10 years, well, now that part goes away. Okay. Now you can be rated at anything. It doesn't really matter. But the big I'll explain to you the difference in qualifiers, and this is why I'm saying at 100% it's a good place to be. Because once you're 100% for 10 years, you can pass away from anything. This is a huge benefit that opens up. Now, DIC still exists. Dependency indemnity compensation still exists even if you are sub 100% or less than 10 years at 100%. But the qualifier changes, and there's also another couple doorways in. But these are the two primary ways into DIC. The 100% rated veteran for 10 years, pass away from anything. That's a primary doorway into DIC. The other DIC doorway is if you were to pass away from a service-connected condition. Now, your service-connected condition must be listed on the death certificate as either the cause of death or contributing cause of death. There's two sections on a death certificate. As long as it's in one of those spots, the survivor would be able to qualify or should be able to qualify for dependency indemnity compensation. Again, kind of like a life insurance that's paid out monthly like an annuity. So with that, four great benefits that unlock as you hit that 100% in a different way. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.